Insurance with Sasha, where the tea is hot, but the lesson is hotter. Let me ask you something real quick. What happens when your paycheck stops, but your bills keep walking in like they own the place? The rent still wants rent, the mortgage still wants mortgage, the car note still wants its money, the light bill still has an attitude, the groceries are still high, and your kids still want snacks like they have a full-time job contributing to the household. So today, we are talking about short-term disability insurance, what it is, how it works, why people overlook it, and what can happen when life says, surprise, you need time off work. Because here's the truth. Most people do not plan to get sick. Most people do not plan to get hurt. Most people do not plan to miss 6 to 8 weeks of work. But life does not always ask for permission before it interrupts your paycheck. And baby, hope is not a paycheck protection plan. So let's make it plain. What is short-term disability insurance? Short-term disability insurance is coverage that may help replace a portion of your income if you cannot work for a short period of time because of a covered illness, injury, surgery, pregnancy, childbirth, or recovery. Now, every policy is different, so I need you to hear me clearly. The amount it pays, how long it pays, when it starts paying, what qualifies, and how you file a claim can depend on the policy, your employer, the insurance carrier, your state, and your specific situation. But in simple terms, short-term disability is designed to help with one major question. If you cannot work, how will money still come in? Because health insurance may help with medical bills, but health insurance usually does not replace your paycheck. Let me say that again for the people folding laundry, cooking dinner, driving, or pretending to clean while listening to this podcast. Health insurance may help with medical bills, but health insurance does not automatically pay your rent, your car note, your utilities, your groceries, your child care, or your household expenses when you are out of work. That is where people get surprised. They think, I have insurance. Yes, but what kind? Medical insurance? Life insurance? Accident insurance? Hospital insurance? Short-term disability? Because they are not all the same. And this is why we have to stop clicking through benefits at work like we are agreeing to cookie settings on a website. No, ma'am. No, sir. Your benefits deserve more attention than that. Why this matters? Glad you asked. Most hardworking people are depending on their paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. And that is not something to be ashamed of. That is reality. But when an accident, illness, surgery, or pregnancy happens, the money question gets real fast. You may be asking, how long will I be out? Will my job pay me? Do I have sick time? Do I have PTO? Will it be enough? Do I have short-term disability? When does it start? How much will it pay? Who do I call? What paperwork do I need? And the biggest question, how am I going to pay my bills while I recover? Because healing is already hard. Healing while stressed about money, that is a whole different kind of pressure. Meet Sarah. Let's talk about Sarah. Sarah worked a full-time job. She was offered supplemental insurance at work, including short-term disability. The benefit specialist came in, explained the options, and Sarah listened. But in her mind, she thought, I am healthy. I do not really need this. I barely go to the doctor. I am not planning on being out of work. And listen, I understand that thinking. A lot of people decline coverage because they are looking at who they are today. Healthy today, working today, moving around today, paycheck coming today. But insurance is not about today behaving. Insurance is about tomorrow acting brand new. So Sarah declined the short-term disability coverage. 6 months later, she had an accident at home, not at work, at home. She fell and broke her leg. Now let's pause right there, because sometimes people think accidents only happen in dramatic ways. No, baby. Sometimes life changes because of one bad step, one wet floor, one missed stare, one trip over a laundry basket you told yourself you were going to move 3 days ago. And suddenly, everything changes. Sarah went to the emergency room. She was admitted to the hospital for 3 days. Then the doctor told her she would be out of work for 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. Now, let me ask you something. Could your household go 6 to 8 weeks without your paycheck? Not in theory. Not, I think so. I mean, for real. Could you pay rent or mortgage? Could you pay the car note? Could you keep the lights on? Could you buy groceries? Could you cover prescriptions? Could you handle childcare? Could you pay the insurance premiums? Could you keep everything going while also recovering? Sarah had no real reserves, no emergency fund that could carry her for 2 months. And because she declined short-term disability, there was no paycheck replacement benefit coming from that policy. Now she had medical stress, recovery stress, money stress, and household stress all sitting in the same living room. And let me tell you something, that is a crowded room. Sarah's story is not about shame. It is about awareness. Because Sarah did what many people do. She made a benefits decision based on what she hoped would never happen. But the better question during enrollment is not, do I think I will need this? The better question is, if I did need this, could I afford not to have it? That is the question. Now let me tell you about me. I remember when a benefits specialist came to my job, and I am going to be honest with you. At that time, I really did not understand everything she was saying. She was talking about supplemental health, hospital plans, accident coverage, short-term disability, life insurance, all the things. And I was sitting there like, okay, girl, I hear words. I recognize English, but the understanding is still loading. Because back then, I was not as educated about supplemental insurance as I am now. But something told me to get it. I cannot even explain it fully. It was just that inner voice saying, get the coverage. So I did. I got the hospital plan. I got short-term disability. I got accident coverage. I got life insurance. A couple months later, I found out I was pregnant with my son. Now look at how life works. At the time I enrolled, I did not know what was coming, but coverage was already in place before I needed it. When I had my son, I had a C-section. And because of that, I was out of work for about 2 months. Now, y'all already know, a baby is a blessing, but babies do not come with a pause button for bills. The bills do not say, oh, she just had a baby. Let's leave her alone. Nope, they still show up. And after I had my son, my short-term disability and hospital plan came in handy. The benefits were payable to me, not to the hospital, not to the doctor, to me. And once I turned in my paperwork, the money was deposited into my account about 3 to 4 days later. Now listen, that does not mean every claim is processed that fast. That does not mean every policy pays the same. That does not mean everybody's experience will be identical. But for me, in that season, it helped. It gave me breathing room. It gave me support. It helped while I was recovering, healing, adjusting to motherhood, and not working. And that is why I am so passionate about this. Because when people understand how these policies can work, they stop seeing them as extra stuff and start seeing them as tools. Tools to help protect your paycheck. Tools to help protect your household. Tools to help protect your peace. Here is the Sasha lesson for today. Do not make benefit decisions only from the version of you that feels fine right now. Make benefit decisions for the version of you who may need recovery time, the version of you who may need surgery, the version of you who may get hurt at home, the version of you who may have a baby, the version of you who may need 6 weeks to heal, the version of you whose bills will not stop just because your body needs rest. That is real. And I know people say, well, I do not want another payroll deduction. I understand that. Nobody wants more money coming out of their check. But let me ask you, could a small deduction hurt less than 6 to 8 weeks without income? Could a little planning now prevent a whole lot of panic later? That is what you have to think about. Before you say no to short-term disability coverage, ask these questions. Number 1, how much of my income would this policy replace? Number 2, how long would it pay if I qualified for benefits? Number 3, is there a waiting period before benefits begin? Number 4, does it cover off-the-job accidents or illnesses? Number 5, does it cover pregnancy, childbirth, or C-section recovery? Number 6, how do I file a claim? Number 7, what paperwork would I need from my doctor or employer? Number 8, are the benefits paid to me directly? Number 9, would I have enough PTO or savings if I did not have this coverage? Number 10, can my household survive 30, 45, or 60 days without my paycheck? That last one right there, that is the one. Because when you answer that honestly, you start thinking differently. What you need to know. Short-term disability is not the same as health insurance. It is not the same as life insurance. It is not the same as accident insurance. It is income protection for a short period of time when you cannot work because of a covered condition. And again, every policy is different. So do not just ask, do I have short-term disability? Ask, what does it cover? When does it start? How much does it pay? How long does it pay? What is excluded? How do I file? Because having coverage and understanding coverage are two different things. And around here, we do not just want policies. We want understanding. So today, I want you to do one thing. Go look at your benefits. Pull up your employee portal. Find your benefits booklet. Ask HR. Call your agent or find one. Look for the words short-term disability. And if you do not have it, ask what options are available. Because the best time to understand your benefits is before life starts lifing. Not after the fall. Not after the surgery. Not after the doctor says you are out for 8 weeks. Not after the baby comes. Before. And if this helped you, comment Paycheck below, because I want to know who is ready to protect their income before life interrupts it. Like this video. Share it with someone who works hard and depends on their paycheck. And follow or subscribe for more real-life insurance tips made simple. And remember, this video is for educational purposes only. Insurance benefits, coverage, exclusions, waiting periods, claim approvals, and availability can vary by policy, carrier, employer, state, and individual situation. Always review your policy and speak with a licensed professional before making coverage decisions. Until next time, stay informed, stay protected, and remember, insurance with Sasha. Protect your paycheck, protect your peace, and stop acting like bills take sick leave, because they do not.